The part that none of us like to talk about with any sort of depth is when we've been punched in the gut. When we took a hit and it hurt us badly. All too frequently, it's due to our own actions, and that just makes it worse. It makes us feel ashamed of the loss, of the damage. But as painful as those experiences are, it's important that we do two things in that scenario. One, we have to drop our anchor. We have to plant our feet in the sand and weather the storm. We have to get through it. Either the trauma is going to decide our future, or we will. The second thing, too, we have to, once we've made it through, we have to give ourselves a short breather, some time to just recover slightly, and then reflect on the mistakes, on the damage, with an eye towards focused learning. What caused the pain? How did it happen? What could have prevented it? How can we prevent things like that from happening to us in the future? And those questions will provide us with a rule. And that rule may lead us to a principle, a natural law. And so we can build back stronger each time, because every mistake we make leads to a defense, a strong defense that protects us in future. We don't want to recover from the damage. We want to grow from the damage. What doesn't kill us should make us stronger. Otherwise, what's the point? When we've derived our insights, the next step is using that knowledge to dig deeper. This can, be through discussions with other people, or reading books with, the insights that we've gained in mind. Or it can even be through applying the principles themselves through action to test what we believe we've discovered. And we have to test what we've learned. If we discover a flaw, we'll need to pivot and protect against it. Our goal should be to add defenses every time we see a weakness. And we're most likely to fall prey to the mistakes that we've already made in the past. So let's prepare against those. When we get hit hard, there's that feeling of sickness in our stomach, that deep dread and disgust that we can't really escape. And it just kind of grows and spreads. And for me, in some cases, looking back, it was almost a sense of betrayal, but not from someone else, from me. A sense that I'm not the person who I trusted myself to be. And so the biggest thing is that we survive that. When we get hit, we have to focus our effort into surviving that wave of damage, minimizing it as best we can. And if we can crawl out of the wreckage, then we can stand back up. And if we can stand up, then we can start building again. We're never out of the fight. We just think we are. So never give in. Every time in my life that, well, perhaps not every time, but the few major times in my life where I set a new record for my net worth, I lost it due to some shortfall or mistake. And it's extremely painful and extremely frustrating. And there's nothing we can do but move on. We've taken the damage already. We can't not take the damage. We have to accept that it's happened and proceed with the most valuable course of action. Learn from that mistake. Make sure it doesn't happen again. The key is that when we take those hits, we're getting back up, because there will always be another opportunity. So when you're feeling that, when you're feeling the pain and the gut-wrenching despair, do something that brings that gets you closer to being back on track. One thing that improves your life by even a fraction of a percent. One thing each day. Do that, and you will make it back on track. There is damage coming. It's going to be extensive. It's going to be everywhere. And if you're still recovering now, then it's time to take your short breath of air, and it should be a short breath of air, and then focus on the pain. Focus on what hurt you. Design a rule that protects you in future. There are some earth-shattering things happening right now with the US dollar and energy and food and all these other crises. So we need to be prepared. And I'll be discussing those more in future. But be ready, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate your viewership. Don't forget to make your silver lining if you haven't already. Have a great one.